Did you actually know that there were different types of procrastinators? Yes. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 types of procrastinators or types of procrastination. I don't know how to say that. 4 different types of ways you could procrastinate. There you go. What's up, boss babes? Adrienne Dion here, and I am so excited to talk to you guys about today's topic because I know it's going to help so many of you out there overcome procrastination. Yes, there are so many people out here who know what it is but can't seem to stop themselves from doing it. Well, that is until today when I drop these gems on you, for you, and it's going to change up the game. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I am a business coach who helps busy entrepreneurs build a better life and business through time management and organization. We talk all about the unsexy things of entrepreneurship. I just help you learn the fundamental skills that will help you implement all the knowledge and really put yourself out there and grow your business. But we don't want to just have a productive life. We want to have a full life. So we also talk about lifestyle and faith. So if any of those things interest you, I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and come on back to the next video. But today, let's get into procrastination. I'm also going to give you not only ways to know if you identify with that type, but specific solutions or specific things you can do to overcome that type of procrastination. So get out your pen, get out your paper. Every time you get on a video, listen, bring your notebook, okay? Come on, bring your notebook. Let's learn together. All right. The first type of procrastinator that we're going to talk about today is called the performer. Now, if you've ever heard someone say, I just work better under pressure. I work better when, it is last minute or, I don't have a lot of time. That's when I seem to put out my best work. I'm pretty sure they or you are the performer. This type of procrastinator usually has a habit of putting a lot of pressure on themselves. And because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything, it's not just in business, it's in every area of their lives. So if you haven't already guessed it, this type of procrastinator is highly tied to perfectionism. Now, this makes sense because whatever it is that this person is procrastinating on doing, getting it right means so much to them that their fear of failure actually takes over and prevents them from doing the work. I will admit, I am a performer at times. I can be this type of procrastinator. And so it's important for you to understand if you relate with this type of procrastinator, it's important to know that your biggest challenge is just getting started. If you continue to focus on that end result, you will never get started just because you can't be certain on how it will turn out. And so shifting your focus from the end result to just getting started will help you to actually get started and complete it and do it at a very high level. Don't get it twisted. The performer is a high achiever, but they just told themselves this story that they do better work when they don't have a lot of time. So they believe that, but in all actuality, if they were to just get started, the perfectionism part of them will want to finish and will get excited about it once they get started. So focusing on getting started will help you out. Ever since one of my mentors said, instead of aggressively trying to change yourself, learn to hack yourself, I've really been on just, pushing awareness of who you are and using who you are to move you forward. Even your little quirks or things that you don't like. As long as you're aware of them, you can use that for your advantage. And so some of the things that I would suggest in this scenario, it would be to work in time blocks. So basically this just means picking a certain amount of time that you say you're going to work on it. Pick a date that you're going to start on it and say, okay, I'm just going to only work on this for 30 minutes. on Wednesday, and we'll take it from there. What happens normally when you do that is that because of your perfectionism, once you get started with the 30 minutes, you'll be so amped and like happy, and you'll want to finish it. You'll most likely work longer anyway. So that's one little hack you can use to help you get yourself started. Another hack is, because you are used to putting a lot of pressure on yourself, put public pressure on yourself. Get an accountability partner, share it on your Facebook or your Instagram stories or whatever, but put some type of public pressure on yourself to get started early so that you don't end up waiting to the last minute, and you can do it in a more controlled, more efficient way. I didn't mention this at first, but I think it's something that's very, very important that we have to realize about procrastination. And that is that procrastination is a habit. It's a learned behavior. And so just like you learn to respond to stress in this way, or you've learned to respond to uncertainty in this way, you can unlearn that. You can learn new habits. You can learn to break this habit. But procrastination is not a part of your personality. It is not just who you are. It is a habit that you've learned. And so if you're going to overcome it, you have to have this mindset that it's just a behavior. It's just a habit that I've learned. And just like I've learned it, I can unlearn it and implement new habits into my life that will be a lot more productive. Now, the second type of procrastinator that we're going to talk about today is the self-deprecator. Now, this type of procrastinator is one that has a habit of not really seeing the value that they have. They have low confidence, and they tend to put themselves down all the time. If you've ever heard someone say, yeah, I just can't seem to get started. I'm just so lazy, or I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just not motivated. I can't seem to ever get started. I think just something's wrong with me. This is probably a self-deprecator. They believe that their performance says a lot about their self-worth. And so what tends to happen is that they feel like they have to go all the time. Their schedule is usually busy. They're always doing something because in order for them to feel good about themselves, they have to be performing. And because of that, they're not actually lazy. They're really just tired. They really just have not prioritized themselves in a way that will allow them to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. And so they see themselves as lazy instead of a high achiever who just has not prioritized themselves or their energy levels in order to be able to take on another project. The biggest challenge for the self-deprecator is to take a break. Relax, recharge, rebuild your energy. This is very important for you because you tend to just go all the time. It's going to be very important for this type of procrastinator to work on their confidence, their self-worth, and know that it literally has nothing to do about how much you perform or how productive you are. If you are a self-deprecating procrastinator, that sounded like a lot. If you are a self-deprecating procrastinator, if you're this type of procrastinator, that sounded bad, then you really have to be more compassionate with yourself. And when you are more compassionate with yourself, you'll be able to see how much you have completed, how much you have done, how much you are worthy, even if you don't do anything else. If you don't perform well, or if you don't perform at high levels, you're still worthy, you're still capable. But you have to remember that no matter what, your self-worth does not come with how much you accomplish or how much you achieve. It comes from within. And so it's important that if you realize you are this type of procrastinator, spend a lot of time building your self-confidence and knowing that you are worthy, even if you're not productive. The third type of procrastinator we're going to talk about today is the overbooker. Now, I will say a lot of entrepreneurs are overbookers, okay? This is the type of person that's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I have so much to do. Nobody will help me. I just have so much stuff to do. I don't have time to work on that right now because I have so many other important things to do. And it's important for you to know, if you find yourself or someone behaving in this way, it's important for you to understand that this type of procrastination is highly tied to avoidance. So rather than facing a challenge head on, this type of procrastinator will try to just place blame on just having more or other important things to do, so they just can't get to whatever it is that they're procrastinating on, okay? They won't call it procrastinating. They'll literally say, I'm just too busy to deal with that right now. The biggest challenge for these types of procrastinators is that they use busyness as a distraction mechanism. Even if it's subconsciously, they are creating chaos just to avoid facing whatever it is they know they need to do. And that could be for multiple reasons. It could be them trying to avoid a certain type of feeling that may be associated with them doing whatever it is. Maybe they'll be frustrated because they don't know if they'll be able to complete it, afraid that it won't turn out the right way. Loneliness even, because they feel like, okay, if I work on that, it's going to take me away from my family and my friends because I have to focus and I'll have to be alone for a long time. It could be a number of things, but in order to overcome this, you have to take a second and ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to avoid feeling? It's usually a feeling. What is it that I'm trying to avoid? Really sit with that and become aware of what it is that you're trying to avoid, because if not, you're going to just continue to keep putting it off and you won't ever just go ahead and face it until the last minute, and then you'll be a performer and it just gets worse from there, okay? So yeah, just taking some time. It's usually a feeling, some type of feeling that we're trying to avoid, even if it's like the anxiety of, oh, I think this is going to be so hard. 9 times out of 10, when we're afraid that something is going to be too hard, once we just say, okay, it may be hard, but I have to do it and I have to get past it. And you go in with the mindset that, it may be hard, but I'll figure it out. Like, changing your thoughts about it will help you get it done. And it'll probably be a lot easier than you thought, or it'll make you take the actions to get help or, the resources or whatever you need in order to get it done. But just becoming aware of the feelings that you've been trying to avoid will help you to take action and move forward. And then the last type of procrastinator that we're going to talk about today is the novelty seeker. Now, a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and business owners have this type of procrastination tendency because we're always coming up with new ideas, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, I have this new idea and I have another project that I'm working on right now, but I want to work on this, and then I'm working on that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have another idea for something else. And so you stop working on that and you start working on something else, and it's just like all these ideas, but oh my gosh, like, nothing's getting finished. That's actually what's happening. And so if you haven't figured it out already, a lack of follow through is really tied to this type of procrastination tendency or behavior. If you find yourself always coming up with new ideas, you're excited to start it, then you get bored and you move on to something else, then you are a novelty seeker. And you know what? It's not a bad thing. Remember what I said about, learning who you are? That's a strength. Coming up with new ideas, getting things started, those are strengths. And now that you know that the weakness is in your follow through, this will really help you to follow through and to get over this type of procrastination or not getting things done by placing some boundaries. That would be my biggest solution. The biggest challenge for the novelty seeker is not taking action consistently enough or long enough to actually see results. And so because you feel like you've done it for a while and then, it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting bored with this. The fact that you put it down and go to something else, number one, really is going to have an effect on your self-confidence, because you'll start to feel like you can't follow through or you don't have the capabilities to finish things and see things through. And then you will just have a whole bunch of great ideas, but they won't get accomplished. And so we don't want that, right? That doesn't make us any money. That doesn't make us fulfilled in life. So it's very important that you know if this is your type, the type of procrastinator you are. It's important for you to place boundaries on yourself. Make sure that you don't start another project until you finish the other, no matter how boring it is or how great this other idea is. Until you build up your follow through, don't take on more than one project at a time. So many of us have goals and things that we want to accomplish this year, but your follow through is going to be everything. And this is not just for the novelty seeker, but as a whole, as entrepreneurs and business owners. It's so important for us to build up our follow through muscle, because that's the only thing. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It doesn't matter how many new ideas you come up with. If you are not aware that this is the thing that's stopping you, it will not allow you to bring in people that can help you get it done, or it won't allow you to stick with something long enough so that you can see the end result. So it's super important that you understand the type of procrastinator you are, and then actually not really be hard on yourself, but learn to hack yourself, like I said, and use the tips that I've given you in order to overcome them. If you find yourself just like, okay, something's going on here, take a minute, sit down, journal, figure out which one of these you're falling into at the time, because you can be more than one. I can be, depending on what it is, I can be two of them at the same time, child, especially the overbooker when I just want to avoid, but I don't want to admit to myself that I'm just trying to avoid it. And I can also be, the self deprecator at times when it's something that I'm going to be doing that's new, and I feel like, it's going to take a lot of time, or it's in a season where I'm just busy. I will be down on myself because I'm like, you got to push harder. And it's just like, no, sis, you have to take a break. So it's important for you to realize which type of procrastinator you are and take the necessary steps to overcome it, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which procrastinating habits you relate with most. I can't wait to continue the conversation in the comments below. Again, if you have not already followed me on social media, make sure you do that and subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notifications. I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be on follow through, on strengthening your follow through, because that's a really, really important. And I know that a lot of you guys are struggling with that as well. And so make sure you turn on your bell notifications for that, for the next video that's coming up. And I will see you guys later. Bye.